Today we're going to be jumping into Premiere Pro, going over 10 tips and tricks that I think every content creator should have in their arsenal without having to watch a 45-minute long tutorial video, pulling out a pen, pad, paper, taking notes, rewatching it 15 times, just to kind of comprehend what the hell they're trying to explain. These are great basic tips that, if used properly, will take your video editing up a couple notches, up a couple levels. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put a clock on it. 10 minutes, 10 tips. Let's go. Now for tip number one, always use adjustment layers. This allows you to keep your original clip unedited, whether you're color grading, adding in effects, blur, anything and everything you want to add to that clip, make an adjustment layer. It just makes it that much easier to copy and paste that adjustment layer to another clip if you're trying to get that same effect or same color grade. Just makes it simpler across the board. Now, for tip number two is use the transform effect. If you're trying to add any type of movement, ups, downs, lefts, rights, zoom ins, outs, get the zoomies going for your text or videos, throw the transform effect onto an adjustment layer, make all of your movements, set your parameters, and then turn off the use composition shutter angle button. Set your composition shutter angle to 180 degrees. You'll get that nice natural motion blur, and it'll just make your overall video or text movement buttery smooth. Transform it. Tip number three, we're talking about Luminary Color. Now, if you didn't know, Luminary Color is actually an effect that you can apply multiples of to a singular clip. So if you're trying to have two different color grades to one singular clip, or you're trying to maybe just darken out the shadows on the perimeter, little vignette effect, or you're trying to increase the highlights around your subject's face, just go ahead and just throw another Luminary Color onto your clip, make your adjustments, add a little layer mask, that way it's only affecting that part of the clip, and you're good to go. Just throw another Luminary Color on there. Tip number four, since we're on color, let's go ahead and talk about an auto conversion LUT for your color grading right in Premiere Pro. If you haven't been shooting in log because you're worried about the color grading process, now with a click of a button, it'll automatically convert your log footage to Rec 709 with the click of a button. While you're in the color workspace, go ahead and click on preference. Then there'll be a little checkbox that states auto detect log video color space. Go ahead and click that button. It'll automatically detect what log you shot your video in and convert it to Rec 709. No more worrying about color grading. Shoot in log, use the auto conversion, good to go. Tip number five, color match. Say you're watching a movie or a clip or something on YouTube and you really like the color grade. Well, if you screenshot it, go ahead and drop it into your timeline in Premiere Pro. Go to your color workspace, get the drop down of the color wheels and match. Go ahead and select comparison view. Make sure the clip that you want color graded is on one, the color graded clip is on the other. Go ahead and select apply match. Now, you got like a free creative LUT just off of a screenshot. Now this next little tip I use quite often when it comes to music in my videos. Say you got a song that's 2 minutes long and you need it to be 2.5 minutes long. You need it to be 5 minutes long. Well, instead of chopping it up, trying to spread it out, make it sound natural, just go up to the ripple edit button, hold that right mouse click down, select the remix tool, go ahead and select the clip you want to extend, and just just go ahead and drag it out until your heart desires. When you let it go, it'll analyze, do its thing, extend the audio for you, and it always sounds pretty damn good. So if you need to extend that audio, Remix tool. Tip number 7, say you want to use a little template, a little text template, title template, lower thirds template, but you don't want to spend any money on it and you don't want to go to an outside source. You want to stay right in Premiere Pro. If you go to the captions and graphics workspace, go ahead and click on Adobe Stock, select the free box, and it'll pull up a ton of free templates that you can use till the sun falls. Just whatever template you want, drag, drop it onto your timeline, make your edits, and yeah, free templates, count me in. Tip number 8. You know, when you get done with a video, you throw on your music, then you gotta go through and manually keyframe the loudness to compensate for the talking head shots versus the just music shots and yada, yada, yada. Well, now if you go into the audio workspace, go down to ducking, turn that on, set your parameters, hit generate keyframes, and you're done. No more manual keyframes. Just turn that ducking on. Tippy number 9, we're getting towards the end. And while we're on audio, say you want to add audio effects to the whole audio track instead of manually dragging and dropping it onto each clip. If you just go to your audio workspace, go ahead and hit that drop down button in the top left. And now you can add as many effects as your heart desires to that whole audio track. Now, make sure you have your audio tracks broken out, dialogue, music, sound effects, etc. And that way you don't gotta spend a ton of time dropping effects on different audio clips. You could just have that whole track designated to whatever you want. Dialogue, apply your compressors, apply your EQs, get your audio right. Now for this last tip, this last little tippy tip, tip number 10, really comes in handy, especially if you're shooting with multiple cameras, multiple audio sources. Trying to link it all up in Premiere Pro is a complete nightmare if you're trying to do it manually. Now, if you just highlight all the clips you're trying to link, right click, hit OK, and it marries them together, puts them perfect. That way you don't gotta worry about if your talking is matching to your mouth movement, because that's just, I mean, awkward, right? Nobody wants that. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed the 10 tips. Hopefully you learned a little something. If you got any thoughts, comments, questions, queries, concerns, go ahead and drop them in the comment section below. And also, let me know if you guys like these tips and tricks videos. Maybe I can start doing like a weekly series or bi-weekly series or something. Let me know what you're thinking. And until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later. There's your tips. I got you 10 tips. Nice little 10 little tippies. Cheerio.